Is there an answer to death? This very question burned within Nachiketa, a curiosity not meant for an ordinary child. His father had offered him to death, and this child, standing at the door of Yamaraj, became the one to ask questions on behalf of all humanity. Does the soul die, or is it eternal? Today we will take you into a wonderful dialogue, where death itself answers, and a child challenges it. The Katha Upanishad is not a story. It is a spiritual dialogue between the soul and death. On one side is Yamaraj, the god of death, and on the other side is a curious soul who wants to know, what happens after death? Is the soul immortal? And yes, you must have heard a lot about this Upanishad before. But today I am going to tell you a secret about it that you probably have never heard until now. So definitely stay till the end of this video. This is not just knowledge. It is the key that can open the doors of life and death. If you also want to understand this profound truth, stay connected with us throughout this journey and share the video to spread this divine knowledge to others. If you are new to this channel, subscribe, because here we reveal the secrets of the Upanishads that liberate the soul. Come, let us move towards that divine journey of knowledge, where experience speaks, not words. Katha Upanishad, the story of Nachiketa and the journey to Yamaloka. Once a Brahmin named Vajashravas studied all the Vedas and performed a sacrifice in which he donated all his wealth. He had a son, Nachiketa, a bright, curious and wise boy. When old, weak and milkless cows were being given as donations in the yajna, the boy Nachiketa's heart was filled with devotion. He thought, is this a proper donation? What virtue can be gained by donating cows that have already drunk water, chewed grass and stopped giving milk, and are devoid of senses? Such donors attain those joyless realms where there is no life. Nachiketa asked his father, "Father, to whom will you give me?" His father, evading the answer, said twice and then angrily said the third time, "I give you to death." Nachiketa thought, for many, I am the first choice, for some, the middle. But what is my duty at this moment? What should I do? Look at the ancestors and know through their example, just as seeds sprout and wither again, similarly, humans are born and perish. When a Brahmin enters a house as a guest, he becomes the fire in the form of Vaishvanara. If he is not honored, he deprives the house of peace. Therefore, he should be respected by offering water. A person who is foolish keeps a Brahmin guest hungry, due to which all his hopes, resolutions, religious duties, children, and livestock, everything is destroyed. O Brahmin guest, you have spent 3 nights hungry in my house. I bow to you. Please forgive me. Now ask for 3 boons. I will fulfill them. Nachiketa said, my first wish is that my father Gautama becomes free of anger and cheerful. And when I return from death, he recognizes me and accepts me lovingly. Yamaraj said, so be it. Just as before, he will be the same again, cheerful, free of anger, spending nights happily, and finding peace upon being brought back from the jaws of death. Nachiketa asked, the second boon is that you tell me the knowledge of fire, by which one attains heaven, where there is no fear, no decay, no hunger or thirst, where the soul delights in immortality. O death god, teach me that heavenly fire knowledge. I have firm faith in it. This is my second boon. Yamaraj said, Nachiketa, listen. I will tell you that knowledge, which is the means to attain the infinite worlds, which is kept safe in the chambers of the heart. Yamaraj revealed the secret of that fire, the number of its bricks, the method of construction, and so on. And Nachiketa fully understood and remembered it. Then Yamaraj was very pleased with him. Yam said happily, "Now I grant you one more boon. This fire will be famous by your name, Nachiketa Agni. And also take this multiformed garland, wear it. He who performs this Nachiketa fire ritual 3 times, performs all 3 types of actions, and worships this fire, knowing Brahman, he is freed from the bonds of birth and death. He who knows this Nachiketa and worships him, cuts the bonds of death and attains supreme bliss in heaven." O Nachiketa, this is the same Agni whom you asked for as your second boon. Now this world will know him by your name. Now you ask for the third boon. Nachiketa said, "When a person dies, some say the soul remains, some say it does not. Please give me that knowledge on this subject. This is my third wish." Yamaraj said, "This secret was once a subject even among the gods. This dharma is very subtle and difficult to understand. Ask for some other boon. Do not ask this." Nachiketa said, "O death, if even the gods have pondered this, and you yourself say that it is difficult, then you are the worthy speaker of it. There can be no better boon than this." Yamaraj said, "You may ask for long-lived children, thousands of animals, gold, elephants, horses, and all the wealth of the earth. If you wish, live for as many years as you desire. If you consider any other boon equal to these to be superior, then ask for that too. Wealth, long life. Nachiketa, I am ready to give you all the pleasures and riches. All these rare desires which ordinary humans cannot attain, you may ask for. Maidens, chariots, music. I will give you all. But do not ask about death. But all this is temporary. Old age destroys all the sensory powers of a human. Life is short. These chariots, dances, and songs remain only for you. A person is never satisfied with wealth. And even if I attain you, I will not gain that knowledge. Live as much as you want, but my boon will remain the same. What pleasure can I derive in this transient body after attaining the knowledge of the immortal soul? What interest is there in form, taste, smell, or pleasure when the soul's understanding remains? O death, grant me that knowledge which people do not know, about which there is dispute. What lies beyond death? This is my final and highest boon." Katha Upanishad. The discrimination between the good and the pleasant, the immortality of the soul, and the quest for knowledge. In human life, there are 2 paths. One of merit, which leads to the advancement of the soul and liberation, and the other of pleasure, which entangles one in enjoyment, comfort, and sensory desires. Both paths present themselves to a person, but the wise one is the one who chooses the path of merit, because the path of pleasure ultimately results in downfall. A steady-minded person evaluates both merit and pleasure. He thinks deeply and knows that long-term well-being lies in merit. Therefore, he steadies his mind and chooses merit, while the foolish get trapped in the illusion of immediate pleasures and follow the path of pleasure. Nachiketa, you were not attracted to those desires that appear pleasing to the eye. Neither beauty, nor wealth, nor chariots, nor women. Nothing could enchant you. You have realized that all this is trivial and does not lead to the welfare of the soul. The path you have chosen is very rare. It is like two streams, one of knowledge and the other of ignorance. They are completely different from each other. You are a wise person who desires knowledge. Therefore, I believe you are worthy of this rare truth. But unfortunately, many people in the world live in ignorance, considering themselves knowledgeable while wandering in darkness, as if a line of blind people is being led by another blind person. They consider themselves scholars, but in reality, they are deeply ignorant. They are like children who, caught in the attachment to wealth, regard this life as everything and reject the afterlife. They repeatedly get trapped in the cycle of birth and death. This knowledge is rare. Even hearing it is difficult. And those who hear it do not grasp its essence. The one who teaches it is also extraordinary. And the one who understands it is an extremely rare soul. This soul, this Brahman, can neither be known by an ordinary person nor fully understood by logic. It is extremely subtle and can only be known by a qualified guru. This self-knowledge is attained neither through speech nor through intellect, nor through excessive listening. It is only received by the one whom the soul itself accepts. Only that person can know it. O Nachiketa, you are devoted to the truth. You are not entangled in wealth and pleasures, but you have resolved to attain the immortality of the soul. You are a traveler on the path of virtue. The person who knows that this world is transient and who understands that it is impossible to attain the eternal goal through insignificant means, that person is truly devoted. It is with this devotion that you have come to know the heavenly fire. The person who practices celibacy for the attainment of Brahman, who performs austerities and studies the Vedas, moves towards that supreme goal which I summarize as Om. This Om is the supreme syllable. It is Brahman. It is the ultimate. Whoever knows this Om obtains whatever they desire. It is the highest foundation. It is the final refuge. Whoever understands it attains honor in the realm of Brahman. This soul neither takes birth nor dies. It was never created. It is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and ancient. It is not destroyed by the destruction of the body. He who thinks it is a killer does not know, and he who believes it is killed is also ignorant. The soul neither kills nor is killed. This soul is extremely subtle and also immensely vast. It is hidden in the heart of every living being. Only one who purifies the mind, free from desires, can see this radiant form of the soul. He who knows the soul, even while living in the body, roams throughout the entire universe. This soul is beyond dance, intoxication, and ego. Only one who is pure within can know it. The person who understands that the soul, while residing in the body, is beyond the body, is the one who abandons worldly attachments and becomes free from sorrow. This soul is not attained through discourses, knowledge, or mere listening. It is attained only by the one whom the soul itself accepts. That very soul removes its veil for them. The person who is engrossed in worldly pleasures, who has not mastered the senses, and whose mind is restless, cannot know the self. The one for whom both spiritual authority and worldly power are like food, and for whom death itself is merely a side dish, Only that person can know this supreme mystery. Katha Upanishad. Attainment of Brahma Vidya from the Guru, the mystery of the soul, and the role of inner wisdom. Those who are situated in higher realms as a result of virtuous deeds attain the soul and the supreme soul, both in a solitary inner state, in an extremely subtle condition. The wise experience them as shadow and light, that is, the soul in a limited form, and the supreme soul in an infinite form. Those who are knowledgeable in the Panchagni Vidya and who worship the three Nachiketas reveal this truth. That imperishable Brahman, which is the sole bridge to cross all existences, which is the supreme state free from fear. O Nachiketa, we wish to know that Brahman, so that we too may cross this cycle of birth and death. Consider the body as a chariot, the soul as the master of that chariot. The intellect is the charioteer, and the mind is the reins in the hands of that charioteer. This metaphor is given to explain the spiritual journey of the soul. The senses are the horses of that chariot, and the objects are their paths, that is, the goal of the horses. When the soul, united with the mind and senses, moves along the path of the world, it becomes the experiencer of experiences. So say the wise. If a person is ignorant and their mind is undisciplined, then their senses also become restless and uncontrolled, like horses gone wild in the hands of a weak charioteer. But the person who is wise and whose mind is always disciplined, whose senses are under control, like trained horses in the hands of a skilled charioteer. The one who is unwise, undisciplined, and impure in mind neither attains that supreme state nor escapes the cycle of birth and death. He continues to wander in the world. Only a wise, disciplined, and pure-minded practitioner attains that supreme state, where one is never born again. That is liberation. The person whose intellect is the charioteer and whose mind is disciplined crosses the path of the spiritual journey and attains the supreme abode of Vishnu, which is immovable, supreme, and the embodiment of liberation. Their subjects are beyond the senses, and beyond them is the mind, which is superior. Superior to the mind is the intellect, and superior to the intellect is the soul, which is great. This soul is the ultimate consciousness of all experiences. Beyond the great principle is the unmanifest, which is also beyond the gross intellect. And beyond that is the supreme person, supreme soul. Beyond that person, there is nothing. That alone is the ultimate and supreme goal. This soul is hidden in all beings. It is not visible to the ordinary eye. But those who are extremely perceptive, whose intellect is highly refined and pure, only they can directly experience it. A wise person stabilizes speech in the mind in the intellect in the soul, and the soul in the supreme state of tranquility. This is the process of yoga, through which the soul becomes one with Brahman. Rise, awake, and learn from the greatest teachers. This path is as sharp and difficult as the edge of a razor. The wise declare that the path of self-realization is hard to tread. That reality which is beyond words, beyond touch, without form, without taste or smell, eternal, beginningless, endless, and unchanging. The one who realizes that supreme reality is freed from the bonds of death. This is the story of Nachiketa, as taught by the Lord of Death himself, eternal, profound, and timeless. Whoever listens to it with devotion and recites it with reverence becomes established in the realm of Brahman. Whoever shares this supreme secret in an assembly of spiritual seekers or during ancestral rites with faith and sincerity attains the highest good. Undoubtedly, such a person becomes worthy of the infinite. May the wisdom of Nachiketa inspire us to seek the eternal truth within.